When you grow old, 9 reasons why people secretly hate you. Stoicism. Seneca once said, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." Aging is more than just a passage of time. It's a journey filled with wisdom, growth, and countless opportunities for reflection. Yet, as we grow older, shifting relationships and social dynamics can sometimes feel confusing or even harmful. Have you ever wondered why certain people might seem to harbor resentment or negativity toward you without a clear cause? In today's video on Stoic in Your Life, we'll explore 9 reasons why people may secretly feel this way, and how understanding these reasons can transform not only your relationships but also your sense of inner peace. Let us know in the comments which of these insights resonates with you most, or share how you've applied Stoic principles in your life to overcome these challenges. If you're ready to embrace this wisdom and apply it to your journey, hit like, subscribe, and join us in turning these lessons into personal growth and lasting happiness. 9 reasons why people might secretly dislike you as you age. Number 1. Envy and jealousy. As we grow older, life often bestows a sense of stability, wisdom, and accomplishment, rewards earned through years of effort and perseverance. However, these achievements can sometimes stir negative emotions in others, such as envy and jealousy. Financial stability, for instance, might highlight the financial struggles of others, even when unintentional. Similarly, the fulfillment of a strong marriage or lasting friendships can evoke feelings of regret in those who haven't found the same success in their personal lives. Confidence, too, often cultivated through age and experience, can make those grappling with insecurity feel unsettled. These subtle resentments may surface as passive-aggressive remarks or distancing behavior. Generational differences in values and perspectives can also create tension. Older generations often value financial prudence, loyalty, and traditional work ethics, which may conflict with younger generations' focus on innovation, flexibility, and self-expression. This divergence can breed misunderstandings, especially if younger individuals view older perspectives as outdated or rigid. For instance, an emphasis on saving for the future might clash with the belief in living for today. Seneca reminds us, "Time discovers truth." By fostering mutual respect and listening more than speaking, as Epictetus encouraged, we can bridge these gaps. Modern Stoicism urges humility and openness, ensuring that generational divides enrich relationships instead of eroding them. Another challenge arises from the perceived imbalance of wisdom or authority. As we age, our advice and insights often carry more weight, which can unintentionally overshadow others, especially younger individuals. Even well-intentioned guidance might be seen as condescending. Musonius Rufus reminds us, "The best way to lead is by example. Instead of asserting authority through words, let actions speak louder." Demonstrating the benefits of your experience with humility can inspire others without provoking resentment, fostering harmony and mutual respect. Fear of mortality is another subtle factor that can lead to discomfort or resentment. Aging gracefully and embracing the passage of time can remind others of their own aging process, a reality many struggle to accept in a society that often glorifies youth. This denial of life's natural cycles may create tension when faced with someone who accepts aging with dignity. Epictetus's wisdom, "Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will, and your life will be serene," encourages us to model acceptance while approaching those struggling with empathy. Modern Stoicism advocates aligning ourselves with life's natural flow, inspiring others through our example without alienating them. Perceptions of rigidity or inflexibility can also lead to misunderstandings. As we age, the routines and habits that bring comfort can be mistaken for stubbornness. Younger generations may misinterpret adherence to traditions as resistance to change. Marcus Aurelius advised, Adapt yourself to the life you have been given and truly love the people with whom destiny has surrounded you. Balancing steadfast values with curiosity and adaptability is key. By showing that principles can coexist with open-mindedness, we encourage collaboration and mutual understanding across generations. As life circumstances diverge, gaps in financial or personal achievements may highlight others' struggles or unfulfilled goals, sometimes leading to discomfort. This isn't about flaunting success. Even quiet accomplishments can evoke envy. Seneca's reminder, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor," encourages gratitude and humility. Stoicism teaches us to remain grounded, using our success to uplift others through generosity and encouragement rather than creating barriers. Aging often narrows our focus to the most meaningful relationships, which can be misconstrued as emotional distance. While prioritizing deep connections brings clarity, others may see it as withdrawal or disinterest. Setting boundaries while maintaining kindness is crucial. As Epictetus reminds us, keep company only with those who improve you, or whose presence you improve. Letting go of superficial ties doesn't mean severing them harshly. Rather, it allows for nurturing the connections that truly matter while approaching others with compassion. By embracing modern Stoicism, we gain tools to navigate these dynamics with wisdom and grace. Aging gracefully is not about appeasing others' perceptions, but staying true to your values and extending understanding to those who struggle. By focusing on what we can control, our responses and choices, we not only protect our peace but also inspire others to find their own. Ultimately, as the Stoics remind us, the greatest legacy lies not in accolades but in living a life rooted in virtue and purpose. Number 2. Misunderstandings. Misunderstandings are a natural part of growing older and often a key reason why others may feel disconnected from you. As you age, your communication style, typically direct, honest, and no-nonsense, can sometimes clash with the preferences of younger generations. This isn't a flaw, but rather a reflection of the era and experiences that shaped you. Offering candid advice or observations might feel like a way to share care and wisdom, but younger people may perceive these same words as overly critical or harsh. Have you ever stopped to wonder why this happens? Each generation views the world through its own lens, shaped by distinct cultural contexts, and what might seem obvious or necessary to you can come across as outdated or even judgmental to someone who grew up in a different time. Consider the values and communication styles of your formative years. You may have been taught to value honesty above all, believing that telling it like it is demonstrates respect. In contrast, younger generations often focus on emotional nuance, indirectness, and affirmation, prioritizing feelings over blunt truths. This shift doesn't make one approach better than the other, but it does highlight a gap that can make meaningful conversations feel elusive. Have you ever given advice like, "You'd be better off doing it this way," only to face defensiveness or silence? The problem likely wasn't your advice but the way it was delivered. The good news is that misunderstandings, while common, are also fixable. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This wisdom reminds us that while we can't control how others perceive our words, we can control how we approach communication. Modern Stoicism offers tools like empathy and patience to navigate these challenges. Empathy allows you to step into another's perspective, to truly hear them without rushing to defend your viewpoint. Patience teaches you to slow down, give conversations time, and clarify your intentions to avoid unnecessary tension. When a misunderstanding occurs, ask yourself, am I truly listening or just waiting to respond? Active listening, paying attention to someone's words without immediately crafting a rebuttal, can transform a conversation. Have you noticed how rare genuine listening is in today's world? People yearn to feel heard. By offering this gift, you don't just bridge generational divides, you also foster trust and respect. Epictetus wisely observed, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This advice is as relevant today as it was centuries ago, especially in a time when misunderstandings often arise from talking past each other rather than with each other. Sometimes misunderstandings reflect deeper emotional needs, rather than surface-level communication issues. Younger people may need validation, reassurance that their struggles and perspectives are valued, even if those perspectives differ from your own. You might feel tempted to offer solutions or point out flaws in their reasoning. That's what life experience has taught you to do. But what if, instead of fixing the problem immediately, you sought to understand it first? Asking open-ended questions like, "What do you think would work best?" or "How does that situation make you feel?" can show that you value their autonomy and insight. This approach doesn't diminish your wisdom. It enhances it by fostering collaboration and understanding. Modern Stoicism also emphasizes humility in our interactions. While your life experience gives you valuable knowledge, it doesn't mean you have all the answers, especially in a world that evolves so quickly. Younger generations face challenges you may not have encountered, just as you faced struggles they might never fully grasp. Recognizing this mutual uniqueness dissolves the us versus them mindset, shifting the focus from right and wrong to what you can learn from each other. Isn't it more fulfilling to build relationships on mutual growth than to prove a point? Patience, too, is crucial in resolving misunderstandings. Not every conversation will result in immediate clarity or resolution. Sometimes, you'll need to revisit discussions, explain your intentions, or even apologize if your words caused unintended hurt. Apologizing doesn't mean admitting you're wrong. It means prioritizing the relationship over your pride. Seneca reminds us, "To err is human, but to persist in error is diabolical." Admitting when your words didn't land as intended shows strength, not weakness. How do you foster deeper understanding and bridge the generational divide? Start with empathy. Listen with the intent to understand, rather than to reply. Be patient with their emotions, even when they seem unfamiliar or frustrating. Ask yourself, what's more important here, being right or staying connected? And most importantly, approach every conversation with humility and kindness. Remember that misunderstandings are part of being human, not a sign of failure. By focusing on these principles, you not only strengthen your relationships, but also embody the core values of modern Stoicism: wisdom, patience, and compassion in an ever-changing world. Before we dive into the final and most surprising insights of this video, let me ask you something. Have you ever experienced moments where your wisdom, hard-earned through years of life, seemed misunderstood or even resented by others? If you relate to this, comment yes below. If you've never thought about it before but are curious, comment 1 to let us know you're ready to reflect. Stay with us until the end, because you won't want to miss the surprises we've saved for the final moments. Number 3. Value differences. As we age, our view of the world naturally becomes shaped by our life experiences. These experiences forge values about work, family, relationships, and society that feel deeply ingrained and unshakable. Perhaps you cherish the principles of discipline, hard work, and sacrifice because they built the foundation of your life. Or maybe your views on parenting, marriage, or social roles come from a time when tradition and stability were paramount. Yet, the world around us doesn't stand still. Younger generations growing up in a fast-paced, innovative, and hyper-connected environment have cultivated their own values. They value flexibility over rigidity, individuality over conformity, and creativity over convention. These differences are natural, yet they can often lead to tension, making us wonder, why don't they see the value in what I've learned? But consider this. Could they be wondering the same thing about you? Take this story as an example. A retired CEO, proud of his career defined by tireless work ethic and traditional leadership, observes his daughter thriving in the tech industry. She emphasizes work-life balance, takes mental health days, and seems to approach her work with a level of casualness that puzzles him. To him, it looks like a lack of seriousness. To her, his worldview feels out of touch. For months, They struggle to connect on this topic, each convinced their approach is superior. But one day she tells him about a colleague who burned out completely, leaving the workforce. She explains how balance isn't laziness, but a way to maintain passion and productivity long-term. Listening intently for the first time, he begins to see her perspective not as a rejection of his values, but as a transformation of them. In turn, she acknowledges how his discipline shaped her resilience. Through respect and understanding, they find common ground. This story reminds us that bridging generational gaps isn't about proving who is right. It's about understanding that every person's values are shaped by their unique time and world. How then do we handle these generational clashes? Stoicism offers profound guidance. Epictetus taught that while we can't control the actions or beliefs of others, we can control our reactions to them. When differences arise, do you respond with frustration, or do you approach the situation with patience and curiosity? When someone younger questions your perspective, do you dismiss their ideas, or do you ask thoughtful questions to explore their view? Stoic wisdom urges humility, the understanding that no one holds all the answers. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." What if instead of defending your beliefs, you approach these differences with the mindset that your perspective is just one piece of a larger puzzle? It's tempting to believe your way is the only right way, especially when it has brought you success. But wisdom isn't about clinging to the past. It's about adapting to the present. The Stoic secret to navigating generational divides is to embrace discomfort as a signal for growth. When a younger person challenges your values, pause and reflect. Could their perspective complement your own? By opening yourself to new ideas, you're not abandoning your beliefs. You're expanding them. Resilience, after all, is rooted in adaptability, and adaptability is a cornerstone of Stoicism. Revisit the CEO and his daughter. What if the CEO had dismissed her entirely? Their relationship might have eroded further, leaving both feeling unheard. But by choosing curiosity over defensiveness, they found a bridge. Imagine applying this principle to your own relationships. What if, instead of trying to prove your point, you sought to understand the other person's world? This doesn't mean you have to agree with every idea. It means you respect the journey that shaped it. Respect doesn't require agreement. It requires understanding. What kind of legacy would this mindset create? Would the younger people in your life remember you as someone who imposed their values, or as someone who inspired thoughtful reflection? Would they see you as rigid, or as someone who grew alongside them? Stoics believed actions spoke louder than words. By listening with empathy and responding with openness, you show strength through flexibility, proving that true wisdom evolves with time. Here's a simple exercise. The next time a generational conflict arises, ask yourself, what am I really defending? Is it your ego, your identity, or a deeply held value that feels challenged? Then ask, what could I learn from this perspective? Shifting your focus from conflict to connection can transform these moments. The gap between generations often isn't as vast as it appears when approached with humility and curiosity. Life is too fleeting to waste on arguments over who is right. Stoicism reminds us that peace of mind comes from focusing on what we can control, our actions, attitudes, and responses. Embrace differences not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow. When you reflect on your life, let it be filled with moments where you chose understanding over judgment, connection over division, and curiosity over stubbornness. This is the legacy of a true Stoic, not one who dominates, but one who inspires. So what will you do today to bridge the divide? What conversation could you start to create harmony? And how will you embody the Stoic secrets of adaptability, wisdom, and humility in your own life? The power to create lasting understanding lies with you. Number 4, rumors and gossip. In close-knit communities, whether within families, neighborhoods, or social groups, rumors and gossip can spread with unsettling speed. often leaving a trail of distorted perceptions and strained relationships. These whispered tales, whether born of insecurity or boredom, serve as a social currency for some, offering a fleeting sense of power or relevance. Often, people spread exaggerated or entirely false narratives, not out of malice, but as a means to elevate their own importance or deflect attention from their own shortcomings. While such gossip might seem harmless initially, it has a dangerous way of taking root. Once it begins to grow, it erodes trust, creates emotional distance, and can alter even the strongest bonds. The true harm of gossip lies not only in the untruths themselves, but also in how readily they are believed and shared. Even those you trust may fall prey to the allure of a compelling rumor, unintentionally spreading or perpetuating falsehoods. This ripple effect can leave you feeling isolated or misunderstood, and the more the stories are repeated, the harder they become to dispel. Marcus Aurelius, a beacon of Stoic wisdom, reminds us, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." His words highlight a simple but profound truth. Focusing on your own virtue is the best response to the missteps of others. Modern Stoicism teaches us to prioritize what we can control, our actions, thoughts, and character, rather than becoming consumed by external events, including the opinions of others. Responding to gossip, however, is not always straightforward. The temptation to retaliate, confront accusers aggressively, or engage in the same petty behavior can be overwhelming, but it is a path that rarely leads to resolution. Instead, restraint is key. Remaining calm and composed while staying true to your values demonstrates strength of character. Stoicism encourages us to rise above petty disputes, understanding that your reputation, in the long run, is shaped more by consistent integrity than by momentary battles. If addressing the gossip becomes necessary, approach the situation with dignity and clarity, correcting falsehoods without descending into unnecessary conflict. Your tone and demeanor in such interactions should reflect your unwavering commitment to truth and fairness. It is equally important to recognize that gossip often reveals more about the gossiper than the person being discussed. Insecure individuals may use rumors to mask their own fears or inadequacies, while those who are bored may simply be seeking excitement at someone else's expense. This perspective can help you cultivate empathy even for those who hurt you, a hallmark of the Stoic mindset. As Seneca wisely said, "It is a great thing to know the season for speech and the season for silence." By choosing silence when it comes to trivial accusations and speaking only when truth and dignity demand it, you preserve your energy for what truly matters. Over time, your actions will speak louder than any rumor. The Stoics believed that virtue and character are like a flame. No amount of wind can extinguish them if they burn strong enough. Modern Stoicism reminds us that by staying true to who we are and aligning our actions with our principles, we naturally expose falsehoods without the need for endless explanations or justifications. Those who truly know and respect you will see through the fabrications, and even those who entertain the rumors may eventually recognize the truth in your unwavering integrity. In a world where gossip thrives on drama, maintaining your composure and refusing to feed the cycle is a radical act of self-respect. The more you embody the Stoic principles of wisdom, courage, and moderation, the more resilient you become to the fleeting opinions of others. By trusting in the power of virtue and letting your character speak for itself, you not only preserve your peace but also set an example for others. The fleeting nature of rumors will fade into insignificance, while your steadfastness will leave a lasting impression. Number 5. Insecurities and projection. Have you ever stopped to consider why some people harbor resentment or negativity toward you, even when you've done nothing to provoke it? Often the answer has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. This type of negativity is frequently a reflection of their own insecurities being projected onto you. People who feel inadequate, dissatisfied, or stuck in their own lives may perceive your achievements, whether it's your career success, financial security, good health, or meaningful relationships, as a glaring reminder of their own struggles or shortcomings. Without realizing it, your accomplishments can become an unintentional mirror, reflecting areas where they feel they've fallen short. This discomfort often manifests as resentment, sarcasm, or outright hostility. But here's the key: it's not about your worth. Marcus Aurelius captured this dynamic perfectly when he said, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surely they are like this because they cannot tell good from evil." His words remind us that the behaviors of others often stem from their internal struggles, not from anything inherently wrong with us. So, how do you respond when someone projects their insecurities onto you? The first and most crucial step is to understand the nature of projection itself. When someone lashes out, it's often because they see something in you that highlights what they lack or wish they had. Recognizing this allows you to separate their behavior from your self-worth. Do you allow their words to define how you feel about yourself? Or can you step back and see the situation for what it truly is? Modern Stoicism teaches us that our reactions are within our control, even when others' behavior is not. By practicing emotional resilience, you can avoid internalizing negativity that was never yours to carry in the first place. Compassion is a cornerstone of this approach, not in a way that tolerates mistreatment, but in a way that seeks to understand the source of the behavior. When you see their hostility as a reflection of their pain rather than an attack on your character, it becomes easier to meet their actions with patience rather than anger. But compassion has its limits. It's essential to balance understanding with self-respect by setting clear boundaries. Boundaries protect your sense of peace and self-worth, ensuring that others' insecurities don't have the power to dictate your emotions or diminish your achievements. Seneca's wisdom speaks directly to this challenge. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. If you let the projections of others influence your mindset, you're giving away control of your inner peace. Boundaries, however, are not about cutting people off or building walls. They're about preserving your emotional well-being and ensuring that your values remain intact. You don't need to shrink yourself or dim your light to make others feel more comfortable. Instead, take pride in your accomplishments, not with arrogance but with quiet confidence, knowing that you've earned your success and that it is not your responsibility to manage how others feel about it. In fact, your achievements and the way you handle negativity might even inspire others. By maintaining your composure and staying true to your principles, you show that it's possible to rise above criticism and thrive despite it. What if your strength could motivate someone to confront their own insecurities and begin their journey toward self-improvement? By not engaging in their negativity or allowing it to define you, you set an example of resilience and grace. What will you do the next time you encounter resentment or negativity? Will you let it derail your sense of self, or will you choose to respond with perspective and self-control? By adopting the principles of modern Stoicism, you can approach these challenges with wisdom, balancing empathy for others with respect for yourself. Life will always bring its share of critics and detractors, but they do not define your value. Your true strength lies in your ability to respond thoughtfully, to protect your peace, and to live authentically according to your values. As you continue to navigate these interactions, remember, it's not about silencing the noise around you, but about keeping your focus steady, your mind clear, and your heart grounded in what truly matters. Number 6. Lack of empathy. As you grow older, it's natural to feel the weight of misunderstanding pressing down, particularly from those who should know you best. People might see you as slower, forgetful, or less capable, overlooking the fact that what they interpret as inefficiency is simply your way of adapting to the natural changes that aging brings. Society tends to impose unrealistic expectations, often assuming you should operate with the same energy and ease you had decades ago, without acknowledging the toll that time takes on both body and mind. This lack of empathy can be frustrating and even isolating, especially when it comes from loved ones, family, friends, or co-workers who have walked alongside you for years. But rather than allowing this frustration to fester, it's worth seeing it as an opportunity for growth, not just for yourself but for others as well. Empathy, after all, doesn't appear magically. It's nurtured through open conversations, shared experiences, and genuine efforts to connect. To bridge the gap, you must be willing to share your truth. Have you explained to others the challenges you're facing? Your physical limitations, shifting priorities, or the emotional adjustments that come with aging? Often people don't show empathy simply because they don't understand. They may not realize the quiet battles you fight each day because you haven't given them a glimpse into your world. Take, for instance, the story of a retired teacher who was once celebrated for her boundless energy in the classroom. Now, years later, she finds herself struggling to keep up with the demands of babysitting her grandchildren. Her children, busy with their own hectic lives, assume she can still manage it all effortlessly, just as she once did. For months, she soldiers on, growing increasingly tired and resentful, until one day she gently shares her truth. She tells her children about the physical fatigue that has crept in, the aches that linger after long days, and her need for moments of rest. Her honesty opens their eyes. They no longer see her as someone who's failing, but as someone adapting to a new chapter in life. This moment of vulnerability fosters a deeper understanding and transforms their relationship. Number 7. Competition or rivalry. Competition does not disappear with age. Instead, it often becomes more nuanced and subtle, particularly within families or close social circles. The desire to compare lives persists, sometimes fueled by accomplishments, health, or social status. These comparisons, though unspoken, can lead to feelings of inadequacy or resentment among those around you. A sibling may feel overshadowed by your career success. A friend might envy your vitality in contrast to their health struggles, or a neighbor could resent your active social life. These feelings often stem not from malice but from personal insecurities, magnified by the natural human tendency to measure oneself against others. This quiet rivalry, left unchecked, can strain relationships, creating distance and misunderstandings. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Modern Stoicism encourages us to use such challenges as opportunities to grow in wisdom and empathy, focusing less on external validation and more on living authentically and harmoniously. The comparisons and rivalries that emerge in these dynamics are rarely rooted in reality but in perception. People project their insecurities onto others, turning your achievements or well-being into a mirror, reflecting their own perceived shortcomings. Modern Stoicism teaches us not to fall into this trap of comparison ourselves, but to view these interactions through a lens of compassion. By understanding that the rivalry may be a symptom of someone else's inner struggles, you can respond with kindness rather than defensiveness. Fulfillment, as the Stoics repeatedly emphasize, comes not from surpassing others, but from aligning your actions with your own principles. The key is to detach from the need to be seen as better or more successful, and to focus instead on living a virtuous, meaningful life. To diffuse the tension and foster a spirit of collaboration rather than competition, take proactive steps to build harmony. Celebrate the successes of others with genuine enthusiasm, offering encouragement that strengthens their sense of self-worth. A sibling who feels overshadowed by your achievements may need reassurance that their contributions are valued. A friend struggling with health issues could benefit from your empathy and support, rather than a focus on differences. When others feel seen and appreciated, their need to compete often diminishes. This practice aligns beautifully with Epictetus's wisdom. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. By showing gratitude for your own blessings and focusing on what truly matters, relationships, personal growth, and inner peace, you inspire others to do the same. It is also crucial to guard against your own tendencies to compare. Resist the urge to measure your happiness or success by someone else's yardstick. Remember, comparison is often a thief of joy, pulling focus away from what makes your life uniquely meaningful. Instead, shift your energy inward, nurturing your well-being, relationships, and personal goals. As Seneca advised, as is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters. This perspective encourages you to focus on quality over quantity, on the depth of your connections, and the integrity of your actions rather than external achievements. Over time, embracing this mindset fosters stronger relationships built on mutual respect and shared celebration rather than competition. Your example can lead others to see the futility of rivalry and the beauty of collaboration. By living with humility and supporting others, you create an environment where everyone feels empowered to succeed without the pressure of comparison. Modern Stoicism reminds us that by focusing on virtue and character, we not only elevate ourselves but also inspire those around us to rise above petty rivalries. True contentment is found not in outperforming others but in creating a life rooted in purpose, compassion, and genuine connection. In a world that often thrives on competition and comparisons, choosing to rise above such tendencies is a radical act of wisdom and grace. Let your actions reflect the values you hold dear, and trust that your inner peace will radiate outward, reshaping relationships and encouraging harmony. As modern Stoicism teaches, the rewards of living authentically and with integrity far outweigh the fleeting satisfaction of winning a comparison. Virtue and connection are timeless treasures, offering fulfillment that lasts well beyond the superficial victories of rivalry. Number 8. Social expectations. As we grow older, society tends to impose rigid expectations about how we should behave, what activities we should pursue, and even what dreams we are allowed to chase. These unwritten rules often paint aging as a period of slowing down, staying safe, and adhering to traditional norms. When you choose to defy these expectations, by pursuing a new hobby, taking an adventurous leap, or challenging the stereotypes about aging, you may unintentionally provoke discomfort in others. This unease doesn't stem from your choices being wrong, but rather from how they challenge others' deeply held beliefs about what aging should look like. Those who adhere to conventional views might feel unsettled or even resentful, as your actions subtly shine a light on their own self-imposed limitations. Epictetus reminds us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Breaking free from societal norms can feel isolating at first, but it's a necessary step toward living authentically and finding fulfillment. The judgments you face for stepping outside these norms often have little to do with you and everything to do with others' discomfort with change or fear of breaking the mold themselves. By embracing what truly makes you happy, whether it's learning a new skill, embarking on a passion project, or simply refusing to fit into a preconceived box, you become a living example of freedom and courage. Have you noticed how society tends to view older adults as too old for change, despite countless examples of people thriving in later years? Think of Colonel Sanders founding KFC in his 60s or Laura Ingalls Wilder publishing her first book at 65. These examples defy the notion that creativity and ambition have an expiration date. In living authentically, you show others that age is not a boundary but a new stage of growth and opportunity. However, this courage doesn't mean ignoring the resistance you may face. Modern Stoicism teaches us to approach these societal pressures with resilience and grace, balancing authenticity with patience. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This wisdom reminds us that the most powerful response to judgment is to live in alignment with your values, unapologetically pursuing what matters to you. While others may criticize, your actions hold the power to inspire. Over time, your courage to defy expectations can ripple outward, encouraging others to question their own assumptions about what aging should look like. Isn't it more rewarding to lead by example than to conform to outdated ideals? At the same time, it's crucial to protect your own sense of peace. The pressure to conform can be overwhelming, especially when it comes from loved ones or close social circles. Have you ever felt tempted to downplay your passions or dreams for fear of standing out? While this response is natural, it's also a form of self-denial that diminishes your unique spirit. Setting boundaries, both emotionally and socially, can help you preserve your energy and stay focused on what truly matters. By staying grounded in modern Stoicism, you can cultivate the inner strength needed to navigate criticism and judgment without losing sight of your purpose. Ask yourself, are you living in a way that feels true to your heart? Or are you letting societal expectations dictate your path? By choosing to live authentically, you remind the world that fulfillment comes not from meeting others' expectations, but from embracing your own. The courage to defy convention not only enriches your own life, but also sets an example for others, proving that aging is not a period of decline, but a time to grow, create, and thrive. As you navigate these challenges, let the principles of wisdom and resilience guide you, knowing that your choices have the power to inspire transformation not only in yourself, but in those around you. Number 9. Lack of recognition. One of the most challenging aspects of growing older is the subtle ache of feeling invisible, overlooked, or unappreciated. The countless contributions you've made, whether to your family, your career, or your community, can sometimes seem to fade into the background as the years pass. It's not that these efforts weren't significant, it's that they can be taken for granted, unnoticed by those who benefit most. Younger generations, immersed in the whirlwind of their own lives, often fail to pause and acknowledge the sacrifices you've made or the wisdom you've gained. This lack of recognition can feel like a void, an unsettling silence that leaves you questioning whether your efforts truly mattered. But here's the reality. The validation you crave doesn't have to come from the outside. While it's human to desire appreciation, the deeper, more lasting fulfillment comes from within, your sense of purpose, your accomplishments, and the enduring impact of your actions. Consider the story of a retired nurse who dedicated decades of her life to caring for others. She held hands during difficult diagnoses, saved lives, and provided comfort to countless families. Now retired, she finds herself in a quieter, less hectic life, where her contributions are seldom mentioned and often forgotten. She spends her days feeling disconnected, as if all those years of hard work have been reduced to fleeting memories. But one day, she begins sharing stories with her grandchildren, tales of resilience, courage, and compassion. To her surprise, they listen with wide eyes, asking her questions about her experiences and marveling at her dedication. In these moments, she realizes her worth isn't defined by daily recognition or praise. It resides in the lives she's touched and the stories that continue to inspire others. This is where the timeless wisdom of Stoicism becomes a guiding light. One of the Stoic secrets to inner peace is understanding that external validation is fleeting and often unreliable, but your inner sense of worth is unshakable if you cultivate it. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us to focus on doing good for its own sake, not for applause or acknowledgement. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." The lesson here is clear. Your worth isn't measured by how loudly the world claps for you, but by the quiet strength of your integrity and the legacy of kindness, wisdom, and effort you've created. Ask yourself, do you tie your self-worth to the recognition of others, or do you find fulfillment in knowing you've lived with purpose? At the same time, sharing your experiences and insights can create bridges of understanding and appreciation across generations. Have you opened up about your journey, or do you assume no one would care? Often people don't recognize your value simply because they don't know the depth of your experiences. By sharing your stories, whether with family, friends, or even strangers, you give others the opportunity to appreciate the lessons you've learned and the life you've lived. Imagine how your wisdom could guide someone facing challenges similar to those you've already overcome. While their gratitude may not be immediate or grand, it doesn't diminish the value of your sharing. However, even if the world remains quiet in its thanks, remember this: Your worth is not tied to applause. The goodness you've contributed, whether in the form of love, sacrifice, or effort, exists, acknowledged or not. True contentment comes from knowing you've done your best and lived in alignment with your values. This perspective is a cornerstone of Stoicism, focusing on what you can control, your actions, attitudes, and reactions, and letting go of what is outside your control, including the opinions of others. The next time you feel the sting of being overlooked, take a moment to reflect. What have you built that will endure? What lessons, values, or acts of kindness will live on long after you're gone? And most importantly, how can you celebrate your journey not for the sake of validation but because it's yours, unique and meaningful in its own right? These questions can shift your focus from external recognition to internal strength, helping you live with grace and purpose. The Stoic secrets teach us that our value is not determined by how others see us, but by how we see ourselves and the impact we leave behind. Embrace the power of your story, cherish the contributions you've made, and trust that the good you've done will echo far beyond what you can see. Your journey is not about the applause, but about the lives you've touched and the quiet dignity of a life well lived. Have you ever faced rivalry, social pressure, or felt unrecognized for your efforts? Comment "I rise" if you stay grounded in your values, or "still learning" if you're finding your way. And don't miss the ending of this video. The final section, how to cope and... Number 1. Authentic living. Living authentically as you age is about embracing your true self without succumbing to the fear of judgment or rejection. This means recognizing the value of your unique journey, your triumphs, struggles, and everything in between, and honoring the person you've become. It's easy to feel pressured by societal or familial expectations, but modern Stoicism teaches us to focus on living in harmony with our inner principles rather than external demands. As Epictetus reminds us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Authentic living requires confidence in your choices, allowing you to find peace in your own path rather than constantly seeking approval from others. Aging gracefully also involves acknowledging and respecting your accomplishments, no matter their scale. Each achievement, whether it's career success, maintaining meaningful relationships, or personal growth, is a testament to your perseverance and wisdom. By celebrating these milestones, you reinforce self-respect and foster gratitude for the life you've built. At the same time, it's equally important to honor the relationships that bring genuine joy and meaning to your life. Surround yourself with those who uplift and energize you, while setting healthy boundaries to distance yourself from individuals or situations that drain your energy or bring negativity. Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This guidance reminds us to take action, not by conforming to others' standards, but by living in a way that reflects our values and virtues. Modern Stoicism encourages us to anchor our lives in authenticity, prioritizing what aligns with our deeper sense of purpose and well-being. By living authentically, you maintain your inner peace and strengthen your relationships, building a life rooted in meaning and self-respect. Aging is not about meeting others' expectations, but about confidently embodying the person you've worked hard to become, allowing your character and authenticity to guide you forward. Number 2. Building relationships. As we grow older, the importance of building and maintaining meaningful relationships becomes ever more critical, serving as a foundation for emotional well-being and resilience. Surrounding yourself with people who genuinely respect and understand you is not just comforting, it's essential for navigating the complexities of aging with grace. Seek out those who share your values, who offer support and encouragement, rather than judgment or negativity. At the same time, recognize the need to distance yourself from toxic relationships that drain your energy or undermine your sense of self-worth. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, associate with those who make you better. This timeless advice underscores the power of choosing relationships that uplift and inspire you to live authentically. Building these connections, however, requires conscious effort. Friendships and family ties thrive when nurtured with patience, empathy, and a willingness to invest time in others. Whether it's rekindling old friendships, finding a sense of belonging in a community, or strengthening family bonds, these relationships can serve as a wellspring of strength and comfort, especially during life's more challenging moments. Modern Stoicism teaches us to approach relationships with intention, focusing on what we can control, our actions, kindness, and loyalty, while letting go of unrealistic expectations about how others should behave. Are you cultivating relationships that add value to your life, or are you holding on to connections out of obligation or habit? The beauty of meaningful relationships lies in their reciprocity. By offering support, understanding, and encouragement to those around you, you create an environment where mutual respect and care flourish. These connections remind us that aging doesn't have to mean isolation. It can be a time to deepen bonds and find fulfillment in shared experiences. Seneca wisely observed, "One of the most beautiful qualities of true friendship is to understand and to be understood." As you build and maintain these bonds, focus on fostering relationships where understanding flows both ways and where mutual growth is encouraged. The relationships you choose to nurture will shape your experience of aging, providing a source of comfort and strength as you navigate life's inevitable ups and downs. By applying the principles of modern Stoicism, you can approach these connections with clarity and purpose, ensuring that they enrich your life and align with your values. The connections we build and cherish are among the greatest gifts we can give ourselves and others, allowing us to face life's challenges with resilience and an open heart. Number 3. Mental well-being. Aging comes with its share of physical changes and emotional challenges, but one of the most vital aspects to focus on is your mental well-being. It's easy to let societal pressures or others' judgments creep into your mind, making you question your worth or feel inadequate. But here's the truth. Your value doesn't diminish with time. It deepens. The experiences you've lived, the challenges you've overcome, and the lessons you've learned have shaped you into someone of remarkable strength, wisdom, and resilience. Imagine someone who spent years building a business, raising a family, or simply navigating life's complexities. Now, in their later years, they find joy not in grand achievements but in simple pleasures. A morning cup of coffee, a stroll through the park, or sharing stories with loved ones. These moments are powerful reminders that life's beauty is often found in the present, not in what others think or expect of you. The Stoic secrets to mental well-being lie in understanding that your inner peace is yours to cultivate. When you embrace this mindset, you free yourself from the weight of external opinions and judgments. Instead, you focus on gratitude for the present, on growth that aligns with your values, and on finding joy in the small, often overlooked aspects of daily life. Have you ever paused to appreciate how far you've come? Or taken the time to reflect on the wisdom you've gained? These reflections aren't just indulgent, they're essential for maintaining mental clarity and contentment. Ask yourself, are you prioritizing your well-being, or are you letting the noise of the world dictate your mood? The lesson here is simple yet profound. Embrace each day with gratitude, look inward for your sense of worth, and find peace in the journey you're on. By doing so, you embody the Stoic secrets of resilience and joy, proving that a fulfilling life is not about avoiding challenges, but about meeting them with strength and grace. As we wrap up, remember that the negativity others may harbor often says more about them than it does about you. Your responsibility isn't to change their feelings, but to stay true to yourself, grounded in your values and focused on what brings you peace. Embrace authenticity, nurture the relationships that truly matter, and recognize that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's opinion. Now take a moment to reflect. How can you apply these Stoic principles to your daily life? What steps will you take to stay resilient, compassionate, and at peace with yourself? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how you plan to embrace these truths. If you found this video valuable, consider sharing it with someone who could benefit from these lessons. Let's keep supporting each other and living authentically. Thank you for watching Stoic in Your Life, and until next time, live with wisdom and strength.